All right, everyone, welcome to part, I don't know, 8, 9? I don't know.
I've lost count. We also took a little break there.
We did. We took about a month break. It hasn't really mattered for most of you. Also, you're going to be upset by this, Carlos.
What?
Part 4 was supposed to release last Friday, but instead I released the first part of the new Digimon game, so we've got a bit of a backlog. Oh, thanks. Is it okay? Do you approve the creative decision? Okay.
That's production, man.
Yeah.
I'm talent.
That's
Talent don't
true.
care about production.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff to talk about. We've been keeping a running thing of notes that reminders to bring things up to each other. First thing, Carlos, you had something to say about Michael Jackson? No, I'm just kidding.
you gonna get shut down. You gonna get.
All right, let me see where I'm at. Okay, I gotta pull up the guide for this because I don't know this game. That didn't change between a month, if you can believe it. I didn't imagine learning how to play this game.
I forgot to. Did I tell you about how I found out that Height Supremacy had
that's on the list. We'll get to that. That's on there.
Okay.
That was one of the things you told me to bring up. The first thing I want to talk about is longtime fans of the channel, the legacy viewers, if you will know that Carlos and I have a very bad history of seeing movies together, and it's almost irredeemable. Hold on, let me check this.
Wanna know what makes the story kind of better?
What?
I have a history of fucking up the Star Wars movies, but Star Wars got bought by Disney. You fucked up a Disney movie.
You have fucked up more than just Star Wars. I need you to know that.
No,
I need you to know that.
No. I fucked up 2 Star Wars movies.
Black Panther.
Sherlock Holmes went okay. Black Panther was different.
No, okay. Yeah. It's different because you say it's different, and that's all.
Yeah. That's
Even
all,
though it was another Carlos classic, like...
No, that was a time where I was bringing my girlfriend to meet my parents, and that was priority.
And more importantly,
I was like, oh,
your best friends.
Yeah, and I was like, let me slap these 2 things together.
I like that you agreed that it is more important.
I mean, literally, because like, what are my parents gonna say? As long as Juliana doesn't come in and start throwing around the N-word, my parents are gonna be like, oh yeah, she sounds great. If you didn't like her, I'd be like, all right, she's got to go.
I'm gonna have to look into this. We may need to investigate this some more. So Carlos has had. Do you want to go over them? Do you even remember all the times you messed up? Let's recap. Let's recap because I'm sure there are people who don't know the stories.
Okay, so The Force Awakens, I fucked up.
So that was episode 7, and let's emphasize on this.
Yeah,
Return of Star Wars.
Yes.
Star Wars had long been a dormant franchise since the prequels.
And and since Clone Wars had ended.
Yeah, that's why. That was the big part. Yeah, Clone Wars.
No, but I think it's important. But anyway, I fucked up.
Do you remember the day?
There are multiple fuck ups in this story.
There are, and they happen a lot on the same day. I don't know if you remember that part.
Fuck up number 1 was I thought, the hype for Star Wars would die down by like week 2 or week 3. So I was like, I don't need to buy these tickets a week in advance. I can just buy them like the day before. Dumbass. The only seats available are right by the screen. So I fuck up with that.
There's more to that.
Second fuck up.
No. No. There's more to the first fuck up that you're not revealing here.
What's the first? Oh, I had already seen it?
No. There are 2 parts. One that you forgot to mention is that the reason these fuck ups are so, like, testy for me is that
they're your birthday.
They're on my birthday. And the other part that you fucked up on that one, we got to the theater 5 hours early.
No, it wasn't 5 hours. Don't gas it. It was like 3 hours though.
It was 4
something.
Hours.
It was something I remember being like, oh wow, I am wild.
Like even you were like, oh fuck.
Oh no, because I remember we went to the mall. I thought we would take longer at the mall. And plus we hadn't seen each other in a while, so I was like, oh, well, we'll kick in. But like we ran out of shit to talk about real quick.
And this is when.
And then I found out that you hadn't eaten the Cinnabon, and then we had the Cinnabon adventure.
I'm glad you remember this part. The Cinnabon adventure is Carlos having the most panicked moment of his entire life. In just like the span of maybe 30 seconds. It was pretty great.
That's it.
I have to look...
Okay,
all right.
That was one.
Tell the story of the second one because I gotta look up where where we were, because I have no idea where I'm supposed to go right now. The guide is not leading me correctly.
The second fuck up next year. I don't know if it was the next year. I think it was the next year.
It was the next year.
Rogue One comes out.
Yep, that's it.
Now, Carlos doesn't fuck up. Carlos has now gotten great seats. I'm like, fuck yeah. He ain't gonna talk about shit now. He not gonna complain about anything.
Oh, I'm now learning that part of this was that you wanted to shut me the fuck up.
We get to the theater. Turns out we were in the sensory, like the.
I
not
still
the
don't know
sensory
exactly what it's
deprivation.
called. It's the sensory overload or sensory sensitive one.
Yeah, it's a great feature for movie theaters for people of different people who are who have different disabilities and whatnot.
Differently abled.
Yeah, differently abled. Better word choice. But the thing is, they leave the lights on.
And the music isn't as loud.
Yes, and there's no trailers, so it's like all of a sudden this movie just starts and the lights are still on. You're like, what
and
the
it's kind of
fuck is
like
going
it's
on?
like watching it in like your living room to an extent, but like with
Yeah.
worse seats. So
No, with decent seats, but you're like, I really should get to the dishes right now. There's a faint sense of I could really be doing other chores while I watch this movie.
So that was the second one.
Yeah, that was the second one. What's the third one?
The third one was we went to see was it Last
Black
Jedi?
Panther.
We went to see oh no, Black Panther is separate, but we went to see Last Jedi, and on the way, while I was driving there, you were like, "Hey, is it cool if this friend we haven't seen in a while joins, who also is kind of a drag at this point in our lives?" Like,
All right.
hey, he's forgiven now. He's doing great. I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm glad.
But
That's not a
But-
fuck up. He didn't say anything wild that day. He didn't say like, oh, you know what? Like, he used to say real hot boy shit that I was like, hey man, you can't really be saying that.
I don't know that you can call him a hot boy.
Nah.
But anyway, and I also just blame you for the general just Last Jedi being a bad movie. I think that's on you. I think you made it a worse experience for me.
I can't stand you anyway. What? Tell us about your movie going experience there.
No, we got another one.
What's the other one?
Black Panther.
Black Panther?
We
I
talked
don't
about that.
remember.
So
The only thing I
here's-
remember Black Panther being is like, oh, we did it in the middle of the day in a tiny little fucking theater with a bunch of weird white people. That was the only negative part.
No, you're
And I brought my girlfriend.
You're
who had never
misremembering.
seen a Marvel movie.
So we met your girlfriend. I met your girlfriend for the first time there. Juliana, lovely woman. Too good for Carlos.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
I'm not arguing that. She's in California right now, so.
Can I not fly? I hate this game. I have to walk the long way back now. Cool. What a great game. Anyway. So, we went to see Black Panther. We drove to a theater that wasn't really near me at all, or where you were staying. I don't know why we went there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the middle of the day, and it was a small theater, but that's fine. You know, I don't really care about that stuff. Carlos and I don't know if you could have guessed this, just about our general demeanor, and just general way we carry ourselves, but we were kind of like, the trailer started and we were just like, you know, you do the typical movie theater thing where you're like, trailers don't matter, who cares? And we're just joking and laughing and cracking during it. And
Oh yeah, we also hadn't seen each other in a while, so
yeah,
it's like,
so
oh,
we're catching up and being like, that looks like dog shit. Family comes in. It's an old white man, not old, like middle age, with his two very young kids, and sit right in front of us. And it's a small theater, but like there are
It's
other
an
seats.
empty theater.
There are
He
other
goes
seats.
to
He had
somewhere.
options, like, and
It's like when someone parks next to you in a parking lot. Like, really?
yes,
Really?
it's exactly like that. When you're like at a wide open parking lot in like the middle, when there's plenty of spots like up front, and someone parks next to you, and you're like, "What are you doing?" And I think it was like the second preview. I don't think you heard him. I heard him, but he basically, well, like we were like joking back, and he like said he basically did the John Mulaney thing, and said, "Are you gonna do this the whole time?" And I don't think you heard him, but I did. So I was like, like, and there's a part of me was like, well, now I want to be louder, like, because fuck this guy and his stupid kids. But I didn't. But it was just like a really odd, like I felt like it would be really quiet, and I don't. It was a weird vibe there. I don't know. It just
Really?
things
Very
didn't
triggering
line
for
up.
you.
There was another. We saw the Rise of Skywalker together, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about that movie.
That's a movie I only remember because I've seen people joke about. But then I'm like, that is the only Star Wars movie I legitimately have no interest in rewatching. Like,
so this is the thing. Here's how I describe that movie.
I'll rewatch fucking The Phantom Menace before I go back and watch that shit.
I describe the Rise of Skywalker as the I watched it once movie. like no, it's not. It wasn't like even that bad or even that polarizing. It was just nobody felt the need to watch it again.
Oh no, people hate that movie. A lot of people, I hate that movie, but that movie is the problem with that movie.
I liked it more than Last Jedi, but I also don't think it's a good movie.
My beef with that movie is it feels like a Marvel movie in the Star Wars universe, but not even a good Marvel movie. This is like Doctor Strange 1.
Yeah, can we hold on for a second? It's weird for you to say something like it feels like a Marvel movie. I'm like, Carlos, you've seen every single Marvel movie. What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
yeah, but like there are good ones, and then there's some duds.
We're not really allowed to make that criticism like blanketly of just like a Marvel movie. We have to specify. Like,
okay. What I mean is like there are certain Marvel movies.
I know what you mean though. It's like It's like a lot of the origin movies where it's like you don't really care. It's like it's not why you're there.
It thinks it can get away with just referencing instead of building upon and expanding the universe.
Just the best reference or just the best line in movie history of somehow Palpatine is returned. I'm like, but it's also that's twofold because it's like one, that's really really lazy, and two, it's not like people were clamoring for Palpatine. Like, I don't understand the choice. Like, if you said somehow Vader has returned and there was like a fake Vader or something, infinitely better movie. Like, it's just like,
I think fake Palpatine sounds better, but also why introduce that Palpatine has returned and he's got that movie's such a weird clusterfuck of like, yeah, you were cooking with something, but then you immediately stopped paying any focus to it and then moved on to something else, and it's like just so many ideas, no execution, no follow-up, and even worse than that, it flattens the universe.
I also think it kind of makes Rey a much worse character from a character who already wasn't very good. It like gave like credit to some of the worst people in the Star Wars fandom because she was just like she could do anything and there were no consequences. And it was just sort of like a boring thing to watch. And I'm like, I don't like rewarding the people who have the worst opinions. Like,
not only that, but it like my beef with that movie is really it flattens everything. Where it was just like The Last Jedi, the whole impetus felt like Rian Johnson was like, I'm gonna fucking like clear the roadway so we can paint with whatever colors we want for the next film. We can go anywhere.
That is the one thing I will admit about The Last Jedi is that it did create a very blank slate, and that they really could have done whatever they wanted with those characters, and they decided,
let's act like that movie didn't exist. Let's rewrite the parts that people actually liked, and let's like honestly, if the worst part is if they had just followed any of the stuff from Last Jedi, it would have made the overall shit feel better. You'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe it's not the greatest it could be, but I feel like at least the Matrix trilogy, where it's like, all right, there's some really cool stuff here that doesn't all the way work out. Just having two movies and then a middle movie that tries to like change the shit up, and then you're like I'm trying to think if a Marvel equivalent. It's like if at the end of Thor 2.
Well, actually, I would argue it's kind of like Ragnarok in a way, but like a less successful version.
Here's what
it would be like. It would be like if after Ragnarok they picked right back up with Thor 2, like
yes,
and it'd be like, who wanted this? Who asked for this? Like,
that's exactly how I feel. And now they're in a really weird, awkward spot where they can't They
literally can't even make movies anymore because they don't know what the fuck to do. Like,
I think that's fine. Weirdly enough, I like Star Wars more episodically because that's George Lucas's original vision was like this is just some shit you can pick up in the middle, and it is what it is. It's just like I'm using the archetypes and I'm making references. It's not really like I'm not trying to go crazy, but now they're like Disney did not buy that fucking license to just make TV shows for their streaming service.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, tell me how you fucked up.
I will in a
Star
second,
Wars.
but before we finish from the Star Wars talk, because I think there is, it's relatable. We watch the things that you guys watch sometimes. I think the biggest thing for me with Star Wars is I cannot believe that a series that has all this shared lore and all of this clearly defined world universe building and stuff like that keeps going to the same fucking characters. I don't care. Give me someone new. I don't care how it relates to, I don't want to hear, just give me a Star Wars with zero nostalgia attached to it. Just create something new in universe. And God forbid, if you take me back to fucking Tatooine, if I see another fucking movie start on Tatooine, I'm breaking my TV. I'm so sick of this goddamn desert.
That's my biggest beef with Disney Star Wars is because Lucas
it's just fucking fellatio. It's just over and over.
That's the good thing about the Clone Wars TV show, even though I know it's a bit rough to start, is since Lucas retained, they're still consulting with Lucas to do the show. Lucas does not he actively hates the nostalgic aspect of it, and so he'll just fucking wipe out things that people say oh, they're so important for the original trilogy. He's just like, I don't care. That shit's a toy to me. I'm George Lucas. I make this shit up as I go, and we're gonna have fun. And it helps widen the experience. Where now I'm like, cool. We didn't really need to know what Obi-Wan did.
I think there were a lot of good opportunities with things they could have done with the Obi-Wan TV show, and I will say I think there are some pretty cool parts of the Obi-Wan TV show. However, it did not need to be that 6 episodes. That I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but it was a waste of time. They could have trimmed that down to an hour and a half and cut a lot of fluff out of there.
Yeah, that would have been really fun. Actually, if they had just made that into a movie, that would have been all right, cool, that was fun. It wasn't it would have been a pretty
mid movie instead of I think fairly negatively received series.
Well, I think it's because people wanted.
They wanted Obi-Wan from the prequels, and we had to wait fucking 4 episodes to get it.
The thing you gotta take in salt with fucking Star Wars fan base is that they suck. And literally, God,
I don't think there's a worse fandom, and I think Marvel will get there eventually. But I mean, fucking Star Wars is bad. It's just a lot of we were talking 50 and 60-year-old fans at this point. Who are just
Marvel fans at least like Marvel.
Yeah, that's the thing
Star
too.
Wars fans hate Star Wars and want you to hate it too. Star Wars fans are just wrestling fans.
Yeah, actually, I'm sure there's a lot of overlap.
Which is funny because I love wrestling and I love Star Wars. So,
I don't think I've ever been a big Star Wars fan. I'm obviously interested, but I've never been it's never been a huge thing for me. And I feel like they were pulling me in for a little bit, and I couldn't give less of a shit now. I'm back to not caring anymore.
No more Skywalkers, no more Tatooine.
I get why. I'm not questioning why they choose to do any of this. It's just I think you fucking that well is dry.
Been there.
That well is fucking bone dry.
Especially if you're gonna tell me in episode 4 that Luke is there ain't shit to do on this fucking rock. And you keep coming back with new series showing me shit going on that fucking rock.
Is he just the dumbest fucking protagonist ever?
It just makes him look like a fucking lame. No, Luke, shit was going on. No one invited you because no one cares about you.
One thing that I keep hating about Star Wars specifically is, boy, that Force thing. They really hate going to that well. God. The things that they've done in the extended universe and stuff like that with the Force, and how little they use it in any movie or show in Star Wars is absurd. It's just Force, pull, push, choke. That's all we got. I'm no. Do you know how many fucking Force powers there are? What the fuck? When's the last time you saw someone say these are not the droids you're looking for, any shit like that? When's the last time you saw Jedi mind tricks? When's the last time you saw someone make Force lightning other than fucking Palpatine? I'm like, I don't understand why they like
Clone Wars.
hate to go here. Fine.
But yeah, you're right. But again, the beauty of Clone Wars is it's a TV show, so it gets to do whatever the fuck it wants at certain points. But it does suck that like it really flattens the perspective of what the Force could be. Instead, now you just like, all right, cool. You can grab a drink from the other side of the room. You could also do that if you had one of those fucking grabby stick things that they hand people who just had leg surgery. So it's like,
well, there's that. I think it's also another example is they act like only Force users can use lightsabers and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's clearly been proven to not be true. Like, so then what the fuck good is the Force? How can the Jedi and the Sith dominate so much if they use their power so little? Like, it stops making sense at a certain point. Like, it gets harder to suspend your disbelief because you're like, well, fucking shoot him. Like, what? Like, oh, he can block blaster bullets. Can he block metal bullets? Like, it starts making you have questions that you're like, I don't care about these answers. Anyway, so I went to see Thor: Love and Thunder with my girlfriends.
See that.
It's good. I liked it a lot. Here's my quick review. It is more romantic comedy than I think most people were expecting, but I do feel like it had the same kind of spirit as Ragnarok, but also pulling back Jane, who I thought was a really good character, and using her well. So I liked it a lot. However, I fucked up. I made a Carlos level error, which is like an Avengers level threat, with my movie going experience. Carlos, are you a fan of IMAX movies?
Oh yeah, I love a good IMAX.
I recently was like, oh, a couple theaters I know have IMAX theaters. Why don't I finally try IMAX movies since I don't normally go to them? Do you know
Understandable.
Do you know what I didn't know about IMAX movies? At least for the theater that I went to.
That they're really expensive?
No, that part was fine. It wasn't that much more expensive. It was definitely more, but it wasn't like a, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. Like I was like, whatever.
Okay.
So the way this theater does it, I don't know if every theater does it like this. There are speakers in the front, below the screen, that have all of the dialogue and all of the voice spoken, and then the speakers on the left and right have the music and the sound effects. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. What I didn't know that going in, so I didn't know to not buy seats on the sides, which is a grave error, and an almost movie ruining error. Like,
I think just you first.
So it might be because it's a budget thing. It's not like a true IMAX theater because it is within an actual movie theater. But I still didn't know. So when we sat on the when I picked the tickets, I saw 2 seats on their own and then like 2 seats in front, and I was like, okay, so they're kind of like off to the side. Yeah, I'll go with that, just to that way we don't have to we can be away from people because there's still a pandemic going out there, even if we all want to forget it.
You don't want the panini press in your home.
No. And I was also like, we just don't like people. So let's set like where nobody's gonna be walking in and out of the aisle and stuff like that. Nobody likes that. So that put me like right next to the speaker, and we get there before the movie starts, and we see those stupid preview nonsense things with Maria Menounos. Is that what her name is?
Oh yeah. Shout out to her.
Well, here's the thing. So they were playing her voice and sound effects and stuff from the speakers on the left to right and in the front. So it was just like double the volume of all of that nonsense. And it was like to the point where it was like deafening. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And so like finally the movie or the preview started, and like we can see we're getting like proper audio now. I was like, okay, so this isn't too bad. It could be worse. But what I didn't realize is that when I bought the tickets, the reason the 2 were on the side is that they were next to like a little divider, and the divider blocked probably about 20% of the screen. Just like in the I couldn't see the bottom right corner of the entire like part of the movie, and I was like, well, I bought the tickets. I'll fucking take the worst seat. Like I'm slightly taller. Like, you know, maybe it'll be fine. But it was just like a cacophony of errors. Of like, I can barely see the seat. I can barely see the screen. I can't really see the screen. It's super fucking loud. We're off to the side, so it's like uneven sound as well. Just bad all around. And I was like, this is like, Carlos would be impressed that I managed to do this.
Wow.
The slander.
But that's on you.
But you were correct. It's Star Wars got absorbed into Disney, so that the curse was passed on to Disney. And
We just gotta stop. Like, granted, I've got from now on. I just make other people buy tickets for me when we go to movies. Because I'm like,
Are you genuinely worried about your own curse? I'm glad.
At this point, I'm like, nah. It's every time I hit it. The only time I don't have an issue with going to the movies is when I buy the ticket and go by myself. But actually no. When my cousin Elton, when we saw No Way Home, we went to IMAX. The issue was, this is what fucked me up, and y'all can say what y'all want in the comments. I understand.
Am I just realizing you saw No Way Home without me?
Yeah.
Who did I see it with?
But you saw it with Mark, didn't you?
I did. You're right.
So,
why is this fucking giraffe so hard to catch? We've been on it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Good.
But
Good. Fuck off. I'm glad you're dead.
This is why Toys R Us failed, motherfucker.
It is. Fucking Jeffrey over here.
What happened? Spider-Man? No, I got IMAX tickets, but I was sitting in front of the most annoying people in the world, and I bought the IMAX tickets. And this is where I sound like the fucking Monopoly man, because I was like, "Ooh, I'll keep the riffraff out. Keep comments to a low." This is a more expensive ticket. This is a different class of people.
Did you quickly find out that was not true?
Nah. I sat in front of the most fucking annoying kids I've ever met in my life.
Did you meet them? Or the names?
Nah, I did not meet their names.
Oh,
but,
so
then I went.
Just lied to me. Tell me.
Yeah. Well, I could hear them. They couldn't see that they were annoying me. But the Batman, that was fine when I saw it by myself.
Oh, I still didn't see that. I didn't see it in theaters, and I still haven't seen it. Like, period.
You should see it.
You have told me.
Yeah, it's a movie.
I watched like the first like 10 minutes, and then like, I'll go back to this.
It's also long as shit. That's my one thing with is I'm always
a
just
Batman
like,
movie long as shit. No way, that's never happened.
I was like, I should rewatch this. And then
do you remember the Dark Knight literally like having an actual like conclusion and then having another like hour left in the movie? Like, do you remember that
movie? Yes, I rewatched that for the first time in a while.
Does it still hold up?
At the beginning of the pandemic? Yeah, I still fucking love that movie.
My only worry with that movie is that it's very Republican now. Like,
I mean, yeah, it was Republican.
It always
was very Republican.
It always was, but it's like glaringly so now.
But my only thing with that movie is like, you see, what set up the DC universe for failure, is like, them just trying to do that with Scott Snyder, and the thing is, Scott Snyder's more of a style over substance.
Scott Snyder.
Scott, yeah, he don't get his name said right. Is it Steve Steiner? Justin Snyder?
You're right. It's Steve Steiner.
What the fuck is the Snyder dude's name? Daniel?
No, it's Steve Snyder. You got it right. Holla, holla, holla.
All right, Zack Snyder. All right, yeah, but you know,
I didn't know. You didn't know. That was the whole point.
When he makes a good movie, he'll get his name said properly. When he makes one good movie, you don't think 300
is good?
I hate 300. Oh, if you want to watch some Nazi movie, feel free. Yeah. Frank Miller was at the peak of his Nazi shit when he wrote that comic, and Zack Snyder was like, "What if I just did that?"
Frank Miller, known writer of The Dark Knight.
Yes, he's the one who wrote that comic, and that's why the source material of The Dark Knight is like, let's just go full problematic.
Well, I mean, also he didn't use the source material; he just named it The Dark Knight. I don't think that movie had anything to do with that comic.
No, they're similar attributes.
Rises has more to do with the comic.
Yeah, but it's whatever. Anyway,
I don't know. That's fun.
What else?
Where the fuck am I? I thought there'd be a Pokemon Center here.
I was replaying a bit of Infamous because of the wonderful abilities of the PS Plus, and yeah, that game. Infamous 1 is so cool. Infamous 2...
I'll tell you before. I think Infamous 2 is better than 1. I think Infamous 2 is a much better game. I think Infamous 1 has some stylistic choices that I think just don't really pan out well.
Infamous 2, I think, has a lot. Like, they're cooking with confidence. Infamous 1, I think, just has a more. I think Infamous 1 has a better story, but Infamous 2 is, like, a lot more fun to play the game.
I can maybe give you that. I think the story is badly told in Infamous 1. They the way they use those comic book scenes that worked very well in Sly Cooper that just do not translate well in an open world like game like that. And I know we disagree on this, but I think you're wrong. So
we gotta find that link. There's a link that at one point in high school I had written down, like, these are my favorite games, and I would love to see, because I know FIFA 06 is on that list, and that is no longer the best FIFA. But why does Facebook have so many fucking features and then get rid of them and then allow you to never go back to find them?
While also keeping the data there. Like,
yeah. Like, I know
so it
you got it,
exists, you just
motherfucker.
can't find it, yeah. What was I going to say, though? I had another story that I wanted to tell that has a very funny conclusion. Do you remember what happened with the Avengers game?
They got bought up by a new publisher, right?
I think you know that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, fuck. I know you sent me something, but I'm blanking on it right now.
Okay, I guess I'll get into it. So, there was a trophy in the Avengers game that was broken. It was so the way it was is Avengers has gone through a lot of changes since like its first iteration, which is good. I think it's still not quite the game it should be, but that's probably due to what we now know is Square Enix Japan being like, you didn't sell 10 million copies, so it's a failure of a game. We're not going to really give you any resources. But anyway, so there was a trophy that very simple, just upgrade a piece of gear. Or max upgrade a piece of gear is what it was. And in the original game, you could just take like any piece of gear and you could upgrade it like a couple times depending on the rarity or whatever. Very easy. Its rarity is like 60% on PSN profile, so like trophy hunters, like 60% of trophy hunters have it. So pretty good. They changed the gear system in one update, where you couldn't upgrade gear unless you were at max level, and then the max upgrade for it was like 15 levels deep, and you had to do like the end game raids, which only gave you one piece of gear a week. So you would have to do like the end game raids. I think probably, assuming you get the right drops, probably like 10 weeks in a row. And it had to be on one character. So I didn't want to do that. And I was getting kind of close to the Avengers Platinum. And I was like, okay, well, I can buy the physical version, because I'm playing the PS4 version, because that's the one that was originally free, so that's what I started on. So what I could do is get it on the PS4 version, and then when I get the Platinum, I can just transfer my save, and then all the trophies will pop in the PS5 version. And I was like, oh, bing, bang, boom, done. I was like, well, so I bought the game, and I bought it on sale for like $5, because it's pretty cheap. And it was also just a good sale. I think I bought it on like Prime Day or something. And, but I was like, this is kind of a low point. Like, I already own the game, and I've already put a bunch of hours into it, and I'm like, now I'm like, I'm buying a game just for one trophy that, like, I could theoretically still get. I've done better than this before. Like, what am I doing? So I go to Carlos, and I'm like, Carlos, I have something to tell you, but I think you're going to judge me. And then you were like, oh, I'm excited, tell me what it is. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to tell you now. I'm now realizing, like,
I forgot.
I'm now realizing that I don't really want to tell you. I like that it took you this long to remember what it was. But I was like, I don't know. And I was like, you know what, Carlos, this secret, it's going to cost you $5 in Venmo. And you were like, what the fuck? No. And I was like, okay. And you were like, okay, you're going to tell me what it is? And I was like, no, I just told you. Like, it costs $5 on Venmo. Like, I'm not gonna yield on this. And you were like, well, tell me about the secret. And I was like, I can't. I literally can give you no information. You can either choose to reveal the secret or not. It's up to you. That's all I can do. And you were quiet for a little while. And then I saw a notification that Carlos had Venmo'd me $5. And I was like, alright. And then I got to it and I started explaining what happened to you. or I started explaining what the trophy was, and then I, as in a big reveal, I was like, "Do you know the cost of that game, Carlos? It was $5."
You're a little bitch for that.
And essentially made Carlos pay for the game instead. I should make it very clear. To date, have not given this man his money back, nor will he get it back. That was the price of learning. He'll never pay for someone's secrets again. However, there is an update to the story. There's 2 updates.
Oh wow.
Yeah. One, it didn't work. I found out that
Glad to hear that.
my PS4 no longer reads discs.
Oh wow.
And I was like, great. I mean, I don't buy physical, and I use my PS5 anyway, so I was like, it's not a big deal. But I'm also like, well, shit. Like, fuck. I bought it for no reason. Carlos bought it for no reason. And then,
Wow.
And then, I'm not kidding, a week later they fixed the trophy. They made it so that if you upgrade any piece of gear at all, it just procs the trophy. So, all big waste. Whole lot of nothing. I don't think any of that needs to be done.
You're such a bitch.
What do you mean? I got God just like you.
Why do I gotta get roped into it?
What do you mean? You didn't have to. It was optional. You chose to. You can't put this on me.
No, I'm putting this on you.
No, because you were so like, oh, I'm gonna fucking get him. It's gotta be a juicy secret. I'm gonna lord it over him. You were excited to get dirt on me. Like, why am I gonna feel bad for that? Like, that's the whole that was the whole premise.
No, that is not at all the whole
That's
premise.
the premise.
No, that's what you're telling yourself because that's what you want to feel.
Oh,
That's
then
not
what was the premise for you? What did you think it was when you were paying $5? What did you think you were unlocking?
Oh shit! I need to show my friend that I believe in him and I'm here to.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's what was happening. I don't think that's what you were thinking at the time.
I care about him. That's what it was.
Protect
That's what it was. That's what I meant.
I don't think that's true.
That's exactly. That's very true. Ask all my friends.
Carlos, I have a note here. So I have tricking Carlos into buying Avengers, movie Curse with Thor. Carlos internalized height supremacy.
Okay.
Excited to hear about this one.
So, I work at small business. So you see
But enough about your penis.
the head honcho all the time, right? But for me, not really, because I work on a different site than where he works. But when I typically went to the main office, I'd often catch it, like, I'd be sitting or he'd be sitting. We very rarely ever were eye level or standing up next to each other. And then we were standing in an elevator with, like, this was a big important meeting. He was having me show off the building. And I looked him in his eyes and I realized, oh, this man's shorter than me. I'm not letting him talk to me like that no more.
It literally was just like, why am I gonna get talked down to by someone shorter than me?
I literally I looked at him and then I looked at the VP and I was just like, y'all are not gonna talk to me like that no more.
Carlos, do you want to reveal for the viewers how tall you are?
I'm not tall. I'm not tall, man.
Didn't I tell you that your average height and you were like, I'm gonna take that home with me? I didn't like you were like.
Yeah, I'm 5'8".
Oh, I thought you were 5'9". Never mind.
No,
I
know.
I take it back.
But 5'9", 5'10", I've been
Carlos,
just used.
You have big 5'8". You have big 5'8" energy. I can tell you that.
I know what I am, right? Actually, no. Some people have told me, "Oh, Carlos, I thought you were taller," which I'm like, I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah, I can see that sometimes.
I'm willing to start swinging over that.
It's not an insult. It's just.
But I remember at my old job at Fordham, people used to get mad at me because I'm like, if you're a man under 5'3", why am I taking your opinion seriously? Why am I listening to you tell me anything?
For the viewers at home, in the few times we met, I don't know. Have you met Spencer in person? I don't think you have.
Spencer's taller than me.
Hmm?
Spencer's taller than me, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like 5'10" or something. I mean, he might be 6. I don't know. Mark and I are both above 6 feet. So for Carlos to be the height supremacist when he's the shortest of the friend group is really fucking funny to me.
Like I get it. And also I'm like, not to, short dudes, they have it tough out here. It's a very scary dating land if you are 5'3" under man. Well as it didn't.
Can we talk about this real quick? Since we're gonna
What?
talk about this, for
Dating
years
as a
I
short
could
man?
for years I couldn't do anything on dating apps. I'm like, I'm straight, white, above 6 feet. I don't think I'm unattractive and charismatic. How did it take me so long? What the fuck was I doing wrong? Like, I had so many. Life had given me so many like advantages that did not pay off for me.
I mean,
The white
I
thing's
think-
not really an advantage. I don't think. If anything, people are like,
yeah,
fuck
it
this
is.
guy.
Yeah, no,
In the dating
people-
world?
people- yeah, that big. Ooh, Nick, there are a lot of. Well, I'm not getting into that.
Okay, we won't get into that.
Yeah, but okay, I'm saying for a lot of dudes, I understand. Like, if you're a 5'5" dude, I understand it. Because when I was in them dating streets, there are a lot of women that put up in the must be above 6 feet. I'm like, all right, I get it. You want that? That's not me. I'm gonna keep pushing. It is what it is. I've also had a woman match with me on Tinder, ask what my height was. I told her my height. I didn't lie. I put 5'8". She stopped responding and unmatched. It is what it is. But
I've literally never had anyone like ask me my height, so I don't know if I just give off like tall energy. Like,
I mean, yeah, but you can kind of tell how tall someone is though by like size of the head.
yeah,
and whatnot.
sure.
But I guess probably because there's not enough photos to really gauge my height. I was mostly sitting down. But like it is really tough out there if you are a below 5'5" male. You are out there in them streets because a lot of women want taller men. Like Juliana, she's like, "Oh, you're the perfect height." But I did tell her, I was like, "What if I was 5'2"? She'd be like, "No, I would not date you if you were 5'2". And I was like, "That's height supremacy in the household. We don't need that. That's negativity." But yeah, it's wild, man. Imagine 5'3" dudes have it tough, especially if you a 5'3" black dude. I know you out here just punching air, mad at everything, hating everybody. But like, you can still get pussy if you 5'3". I'm not like that's on you also. Like, pick up an instrument.
Because like,
Pick up an instrument.
it's gonna do something really bad. I'm glad I didn't.
Hey, say that shit. Say it. Say it with your chest. You want a joke out here? You want to?
Oh, this seems really personal for you. I don't know if I want to dredge this stuff up. Like,
Don't be a little bitch. Just say that shit.
I was gonna say there are plenty of 5-foot girls who you could trick into thinking that you're taller than you are, because they still want someone who's 6 feet, but you could probably just lie to them and they wouldn't know. Is what I was gonna say.
I mean, you can say, did I ever show you that video? Some guy on TikTok was like, "Oh, I tell girls that I'm 5'9", or 5'10", 5'9" or 5'10", and he's just like, because girls know where 6 feet starts, but they don't know what happens below, but it's above 5'8". They just think something's deeply wrong, and I'm like, that's fucking hilarious.
That is pretty funny.
Sorry, I'm doing something real dumb.
Mhm.
So I decided while you were telling these stories to just get deep into my Facebook history, because you can find out so much shit of what like Facebook has every time.
Can I let you
Doesn't
know
have
something real quick? I have a
What?
daily ritual on Facebook that seemingly has taken over a year, and I'm starting to get worried. I saw so much cringy shit in my Facebook feed that at a certain point I was like, all right, enough is enough. Once a day, I'm going to get that stupid fucking notification where it's like, you got memories on Facebook. I'm going to delete all of that shit because I don't want to ever see it again. So I'm going to do that every day for a year. And I've done that. And I still keep finding shit. I don't know when I started, and I wish I marked it down. I swore it was April 2021. And I'm still going through shit. And I'm like, why does this keep coming up? Like, how is there still stuff left?
All this cringiness is gonna be up here. The aliens, when they find out what Facebook was to humanity, and they're like, "Oh, let's see what this dude Carlos was doing before he toppled all this shit over."
I think if aliens found Facebook, they would assume it was some virus that like leaked the info and like posted on the person's behalf. Like nobody would think that we posted it willingly. What were you saying about your Facebook history though?
It's just one. I'm more interested because I'm going like right now. I'm in the college years, and I'm just like, I just be commenting on shit. No rhyme, no reason. Like I can see the shit, but I'm like, why was I? Why did commenting now to me?
I mean,
is like
I can tell you that
liking. It's like liking an Instagram post.
no,
Like, what am
no,
I doing?
no, it's not. You commenting is exactly the same shit you just do on Twitter now, which is you just fucking quote tweet or reply to something and say the exact same shit you used to just say on Facebook. You haven't changed. You just switched platforms. I've watched you do this over 10 years. And
I mean,
like,
I
you're
guess-
exactly the same person.
I guess that's also why I'm in. Whoa, why did I just say this to someone? I said, why aren't you in my life more? The fuck am I talking about? Where did that? Oh.
Is it what I think it is,
Okay.
based on the context?
No, a different girl named Carrie though, which is hilarious. So
Did you know that?
What?
Like,
I was like 50-50 because there was a girl that I used to flirt with that was named Carrie, but then I was just like, I don't think I was bold enough to ever, like, we never spoke about, like, people knew what it was, but we never really ever spoke about it until
public,
you know,
yeah.
I dropped that classic video.
I have another story for you. if you
Ooh,
wanna take a break.
2012. I think I'm close, but yeah, no, you tell your story because I'm getting in here.
I mean, are you gonna listen to the story?
Yeah, I'm listening because it takes me 5 seconds to realize like what I'm looking at.
I was shaving recently. I hadn't shaved my beard and my in my head.
Is it that story?
No, it's no. I think we told that in a different video. That was horrific.
Okay.
That was a very scary time. I nicked my ball sack before, for those who were wondering, and almost put myself in the hospital because it would not stop bleeding, and I did everything you shouldn't do. I like went and took a shower thinking that would seal it up. Instead, it just drew more blood out. Like, it was bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was bad. If that ever happens to you, by the way, ice cubes. I'm gonna freeze that shit. Yeah, which is also a bad feeling, but you know, better than fucking
Yeah,
bleeding out. Like, so.
True. Some would say it's better than death.
Yeah, some would say. Hot take, Carlos. Hot take. Ready?
I mean, we can't ask the people who are dead.
Hot take. Ice in the balls, better than death. I know not everyone may agree with me here. Maybe a little controversial.
I think you're going out on a limb. I
But-
want to see that.
Ice in the balls, better
Okay,
than death.
tell your story.
This is much
You're
more
shaving.
tame. But I think it's just a small thing. But it's funny. I did want to tell you about it though. So I was shaving, finished trimming my beard, finished trimming my hair, and I was like, all right, well, time to manscape. And I, you know, I'm positioned over the toilet, so you know gravity can do most of the work. And
As a man should.
yeah, there's ways to do it, but yes, and I and I'm just shaving, little, you know, getting the good spots, and all of a sudden, clipper just comes straight off and just falls in the toilet. I was like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, I'm like half shaved. Like, I don't know. I hadn't planned for this situation. I don't know what to do here. And so I was like, well, and luckily there was nothing in the toilet, just like hair. So I picked it up, cleaned it off, and just finished. But I was just like, why? Like, just like, I felt so stupid. I was like,
yeah,
who does,
dropping anything.
I was like, who does this happen to? Like, it's idiots. That's who. But I thought you'd appreciate that story. You always appreciate a good bathroom story.
Hey, the bathroom is a great place for hilarity.
I don't like the way you said that. What do you mean? Expand on that.
It's just anything that happens in the bathroom is just always a little bit funnier. You know, you drop something, it's not as funny unless you drop it in the bathroom. Right?
I think it's fair. What's the most important things you dropped in a toilet?
I'm not. Oh.
If you say a massive dump, I'm gonna stop the video.
No, the whole roll of the toilet. The whole roll. Somehow.
That's pretty good. That's
This
pretty
is
good.
before I shat, but like I was getting ready to, and some way I knocked it into it, and I was like, it was like the last roll too, so I was like, what the fuck am I doing now? I think I called someone to like bring me a roll.
I have a semi-related story. When I was a kid, probably grade school still. This was post, meeting Carlos in first and second grade, but reuniting with Carlos in middle school. So these are the dark years.
The uncut years.
And you know, like most kids, like most white children, I was playing with fire, quite literal fire. And I was in the bathroom, and I discovered if you take a lighter and you spray hairspray on it, you can make a little flamethrower. My bathroom was not this big. And I learned quickly that even if you do it for a second, things can catch fire. So I accidentally lit the toilet paper roll that was on the roll on fire. And I was like, So I quickly, because it was on one side, yanked it off and threw it in the fucking toilet. And prevented what could have been, you know, burning my house down. Like, in a very split-second decision. So then obviously, what do you do with the toilet roll after that? I can't put it back. It's not like... So, instead... Are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still with you. I'm thinking of what I also thought of is like dumb evidence you've tried to hide of your stupidity.
Well, you're on the right track. So, so I was like, well, what do I do with it? I was like, I'll just throw it away. So I threw it in like a trash bag that was like in my room. And later, my dad was like helping me clean. And he was like... and he was like, why is there a full toilet paper roll in the trash here? And I just went, I don't know. And he went, okay. That was the end of it. Like, I just got away with it. Like, just... he was like, I don't know what was happening here. I don't want to know. He was like, it's probably damp. I don't want to know why it's damp. Like, it's just like...
No, he literally was like, I can make this my problem, or I can ignore it and just act like it never happened.
That very same day, though, almost karmically, because, you know, I believe in the law of equivalent exchange. So, like, something bad had to happen as, like, recourse for that. So, while he was cleaning, he was like, what's this? And he pulled up a Playboy issue of Tori Wilson on the cover.
Hey, that I get it, you know?
Well, so I had stolen it from my older brother who used to collect Playboys, which, boy, cannot imagine a worse collection than fucking porn mags. Like, Jesus Christ.
But also, like, how are you getting rid of them?
Exactly.
You won't put your semen out there?
Okay. So and he was like, you're too young for this. I'm like 13, but like, okay. I might have been like 12 or 11. But I was like, but he was like, he's like, I'm taking this, and you know, I'm gonna go bring it back. I'm like, okay, for two reasons. Because like, one, I was like, I don't care, like whatever. This was like slightly pre-internet, but it was still like, I like could have accessed the internet if I wanted to. It was just like a little more dodgy. Like I had to like, you need a family computer for it, and that's risky. So he. But I was also like, I know where you're gonna put it back. Like, where the fuck do you think I got it? Like, what's the threat here? Like, I know where it came from, obviously. Like,
it is tangentially related. It is so wild that for a big part of WWE, like,
the Diva
like
era?
there was not only the Diva era, but the WrestleMania Diva era, where they were like, cool, one Diva's gonna do a Playboy photo shoot. And for some reason, it's going to lead to a feud where the women are really just upset that they didn't get the Playboy photo shoot.
Man, for a while, WWE really knew how to write women.
Yeah, back before those feminists ruined wrestling.
Do you remember on the back of like Raw vs. SmackDown, like 2006 and 2007, they advertised the Diva matches?
Yeah.
Where like, to win, you had to strip their clothes.
What a concept. What a great concept. It's like a fever dream, but also like every time I rewatch something from the Attitude Era, I'm like, dog, y'all didn't even have one dude who was like, all right, we did that last week. We don't need to do it again. Like, we don't need to have Trish Stratus bark like a dog. We really don't need
so many weird points of like Vince being involved in those stories too.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're an old man now. Like, and you're like these people that you pay are trying to like.
His wife works at the company.
Yeah, and his
Like,
daughter worked at the company. Like, it's just so weird.
They were supposed to have that incest storyline that gratefully got shut down.
Oh my god, what a clusterfuck. I have another one. I have an actual story about work that I can like probably tell. So,
Hey.
it's not.
Well,
it's
not make
it's
this
not.
the reason.
It's not related to any properties. It's related to some employees, but like far enough away related to me where I could probably get away with this. So I work in customer service, customer support, if you will. I'm pretty high up the chain at this point. I'm like pretty much as high as I can get there without some people either dying or leaving. Not that I really want to go further up at this point, but so I'm pretty up there. So I have to make decisions on some things sometimes, or like people will alert me to like when there's fuckery afoot, whether I want to know or not, because I'm just like I'm now at the point where like I'm a stakeholder, like I need to know about these things according to my bosses and like the people who work here, and I was just like okay, whatever. So we got a new game came out recently, and I can't tell you what game it is, but just know a new game came out. And we had to get a bunch of new like agents for that, and so we contract people to basically like we'll hire them to like, and we'll contract like a certain number of their agents to work on a product. That's how it works. If you ever see stuff in the credits of like Pull to Win or like Keyword Studios, they're like big in the those are only like some of the ones we use, but those are like industry wide. Like they provide like quality or QA, and they provide CS for like different companies and stuff like that. So
Remind me to ask you about this offline.
yes, you'll hear most of it as it is.
Okay.
But so when you're getting like 100 new agents, occasionally some of them might not be great. So the way it works is that when you reply to tickets, you have like a little like profile picture. Like that's fine, whatever. We used to have rules of like it had to be a WB property. We laxed those, and like I don't care anymore. Like it's not my issue. It's not my department. I'm not the manager of vendors. So but like so the other thing is that they choose their agent names. I can't reveal mine. I'd like to because I still kind of use it, so I can't really reveal mine. But it would be like agent like I'm trying to think of a good example. It'd be like agent like Zeus. Like you just pick like a random like thing. It used to be a lot harsher. I can tell you like I wanted to pick Zeus when I first started, or like Hades, and they were like no. And I was like, well shit. So like it used to be much more strict, but now that we have so many agents, nobody cares anymore. You can just pick basically whatever you want. There are very few things that you can't pick. Being that we are WB, which is where I work, and I'm allowed to say that, some properties are off limits because they're competitors. So someone, I forget what their name was, their approved name was, but on their like first fucking day, or like their second fucking day, they were like, I'm gonna change my name. I don't remember what the second part of this was, so I'm gonna make the second part up, but I remember what the first part was. They're like, I'm gonna change my name to Darth Doofus. Like, it wasn't Doofus, that's not what it was. But the first part was Darth. And I'm like, and they said, you can't have that, that's not approved. And then they changed it manually. And then he changed it back. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what, I don't understand the thought process. I'm like, I'm gonna risk my job over the dumbest possible thing. Like,
People are so.
it was
People
so
are
weird.
dumb.
So it's like, it must have been like a thing of like,
At least he didn't take it to Twitter.
it had to be like first job or something like that, right? Like,
Yeah. Or he thought, oh, no one's reading these.
I don't even know what it would have been. But like he got that eventually led to the reason we had to let him go. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah, well, because he did something else. But like because he already had that strike against him, it was like, get this guy out of here. Like he's not like he's already on strike one. But I'm just like, imagine losing your job because you were that big of a fan of Star Wars. I'm just like, I can't think of anything like I would let go sooner. Where they're like, if I was like, I want to be Darth Nick, and they were like, no, I'd be like, okay. And it's just that easy. I wouldn't even like put it. I wouldn't think about it for a second. I would just be like, all right, whatever you say, boss. Like,
Like he didn't want to be like a fucking dinosaur from Jurassic Park. He want.
there were so many other options. We allow so many things, and he was just like, I am dedicated to
Let me
this.
die on this hill. Let me die.
He quite literally died on the hill. Like I was like, what are we doing?
Nah, imagine telling someone why you're short on rent money. Like, oh, what happened? Well,
Fucking demand, you know, like
yeah.
I'm not allowed to have shit anymore.
I would love to hear like when people get like fuck up that bad at work. I want to hear.
To be clear, I don't think he was. I don't know if he was fired, or just taken off the WB project,
Okay.
which can happen.
But even better, I want to just hear people's recollections of times they fucked up at work. But I want to hear everyone else's reaction to that person fucking up at work. But them not knowing that I'm getting both sides of the story, you know?
I want to see how they spin it.
Yeah, I would love that.
I want to know if they're like, oh, it was some bullshit. I'm just like, no, dude. Like,
I want, you know, like sometimes when people understand that like, oh, you're interviewing other people, they'll be like, oh, some people will say this is what happened, but no, I want like pure on. This guy thinks he's giving me the definitive truth. I'm hearing it for the first time, so he doesn't have to be like, oh, here are some other interpretations. Let me deny those, and through this manner, I want literally straight up of like, oh, I did this at work. Ain't they tripping for doing that?
just be like, no. What were you doing? Like, just can't imagine. I have another note here. It's my last note I have, which is, do you want to talk about the person who got crushed by that screen at the concert?
Oh my!
And how fucked up that was?
That shit is whoa.
It was so gruesome. And so unexpected that I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
like,
nah, you didn't hear. You didn't get you only got the text. But so when I was telling you, I was working on a massive report. I was pulling crazy days. I'm working like till midnight most days last week.
Oh man, what's that like?
All right.
We're both working.
But
hard.
like,
let's just say that we're both
yeah.
working. We're both working our hardest.
But like, there was another dude that like, one of my interns was also working real hard. But I love my intern.
Oh right, I forgot. That's how you found it. I've seen it other places since then. That's why like I forgot about that part. But you were like the first on the scene by accident.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, no, because he's like from China.
No. But I just mean like you accidentally
Yes.
got this info way before other people saw it, like before it became widespread, and so did I by proxy. So like,
So he's on WeChat or what? He's on some social media.
it would have been WeChat, I think.
Yeah, and and again, we're both working on like
He's working
really
super late,
intense reports.
both stressed, both
Yeah,
working.
and like out of the blue, no context, he just shows me a video.
So did he like take his phone and like hold it up to you?
Yes, he said he gave me,
Something about
he
that
gave-
makes it so much better.
No content warning, no like, oh hey Carlos, well, you're about to see something fucking gruesome. He was just like, here you go.
And you're like,
And
oh.
I'm watching the video thinking, again, because it starts off with, it's a boy band doing something. At worst, I'm seeing someone fall off the stage. At best, like someone tripping in something, like in a real funny manner. Not a fucking Titantron coming. Like,
If you haven't
it
seen the video,
literally-
we will not be linking it. But
Oh, it's the boy band mirror. You can look it up.
it's
Put
just
up
this
boy band
giant
mirror.
screen
Yes.
falls from its like
at a
hookups on
concert.
top and
And
lands directly on the dude's head. Like 100% his head and neck, the full support, like full weight of it. It is gruesome. And so you showed that to me. I was like, why the fuck would you show that to me? Like, and you were like, because he did it to me.
The thing that I continually don't get is that we were both stressed. We also didn't like our internet had. Oh, that's the other thing. Our internet was down, so we were both using phone hotspots, and like we were both trying to like use the least amount of internet on our phones because obviously that's gonna like you can't when you're on a phone hotspot you can't really use like the full bandwidth, right?
Sure.
So he's looking at that thing, and I'm like, dude, you're using data for that right now? we're in crunch time, and you're taking like. You're showing that to me and not even saying, "Hey, this is a wild ass video."
Not only did he use it for himself, it must have looped a couple times when he saw it, and then it looped a couple times when you saw it. Like,
yeah, I'm watching. I'm like, dude, what the flying fuck? Why are you showing me this now? And then he's like,
it's like we have shit to do. Like
the kicker is he then goes to me. He's like, "Yeah, that dude probably died." I'm like, "Then why are you showing me a video of someone dying at work?" Like,
just
I don't need to see that.
The kids aren't all right. The kids aren't all right. Like,
he's not a kid. He's older than me.
the kids aren't all right.
That's the best part about him is like he's a hard worker. Attention to detail could be better, but like he gets himself in some random fucking shit, and I'm always just like, why do you find just? But also like, why did you need to send this video the middle of the day?
So
show me this thing.
So I have another story about that video now. That has since happened. That video, I found it again in a different subreddit, and it got linked to I think it's called Terrifying as Fuck, which I found out is just the new Watch People Die.
Oh,
so don't go there. Like, it's not a Reddit.
It's just live leak videos.
It was a lot of that. The thing that I thought was very weird was so obviously new subreddit, gotta look at all the top posts.
That's what you do.
That's just the etiquette.
Wait, do you do top post by month or top post all time?
I do all time.
Oh wow, you're a wild boy.
I wanna know what the greatest hits are.
Oh, I do first top of the month to see if all time is worth it. Because if the month is really great,
and I didn't think about it. Instinctively, I probably do that. I probably do month first, but then like after like 5 posts, I'll do all time.
Yeah, I get that.
Because well, so
especially like for Abrupt Chaos, you'll see some wild shit.
Oh my god, Abrupt Chaos is a gift. That subreddit is so good.
She hadn't been on it. She's never been on it, and I like the other day we were laying in bed and I was showing it to her, and like we were cackling.
It is. I send you them sometimes, and they always deliver. I'm just like, they're so good. Abrupt Chaos, for those who don't know, is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a video, probably like a little bit of lead up, and then something insane happens, and then you're just gonna watch the aftermath. And it's just like the weirdest shit content. Anyway, Terrifying as Fuck is basically when you watch people die, so it's bad. But the other part of it is there's a lot. I want to say like of the top 20 posts, probably like 7 of them were pit bull attacks.
Oh, fucking shit.
And I was like, I don't have anything against pit bulls. I get there's different stances on this, but I'm like,
wait for it.
What am I waiting for? Oh no! I literally don't have anything against them. So I'm like, but I don't understand why Reddit is so obsessed. It's one of those like weird Reddit issues where they're like honed in and like every single comment's like, Pitbull's the fucking worst, menace to society, stop breeding him, not a fan of eugenics normally. I'm like, I think you probably are, you're on Reddit. But like, I was just like, what is the fucking hate boner for pit bulls? I don't get it. I mean, I get like the extreme cases, but I'm like, dog attacks happen with multiple breeds. Like,
nah, man, get them fucking things out. Nah.
No, but I've literally met pit bulls in person. I've literally only met like the fucking doofiest pit bulls I've ever seen.
Hating animals is, but also the thing about those pit bull videos that piss me off is, I'm like, you got a pit bull, why the fuck that's not friendly? Why are you bringing it anywhere?
Yes.
But like, yeah, you are also right though. Of like, I've met a lot of lovely pit bulls. There's actually a very funny pit bull on my street that is terrified of my small dog because my small dog barks at it and it starts whimpering, and I'm like,
Josie barking? No way! I can't imagine.
All right,
but you're the best owner. She would never bark.
Some fucking asshole last night wanted to get into it with me.
Can you say that with a New York accent, please?
Some fucking asshole.
Thank you.
At like, it was 3 a.m. in the fucking morning.
As opposed to 3 a.m. at night?
Well, I mean 3 p.m. in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, but you said
So-
AM, so
All right, suck my dick, nigga. She's having a little diarrhea thing, so it's like she's uncomfortable, so she's just overreacting to everything, because she just wants to like sit quietly and just shit her brains out. But this dude gets upset that she's barking at him, and I'm like, dude, it's a dog. It was one bark. We're walking the opposite direction, and he just starts calling me homophobic slurs and shit. He's just like, yeah, fuck your dog and shit, man. I'm like, dude, we didn't get in your space. But like, he walked the entire rest of the block openly yelling about how annoyed he was that my dog barked at him. And I'm like, what?
yeah, that's
It's
it. Had a
3 in the
rough day. It's-
Clearly. I mean, he's out at 3 a.m. No one's having a good time at 3 a.m.
I've been recording Digimon Survive at 3 a.m., so I don't know what you're talking about. You're right. You're right, though.
Yeah, but you're
You're right.
not outside.
But no,
you're
no.
inside.
You're right, though. it's just you're right. All right. Well, I guess on that note, that's another part in the bag.
Oh wow, damn! The time flew by. I do gotta eat though.
I want to spoil something for you for the new Digimon game because I know you're not gonna play it after this.
I'm always down for that.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time. Goodbye.